Alright, we're going to be looking at doing a more extreme set of edits to a photo. So we're going to start off by just doing the more minor touch-ups that we have already covered before. I apologize, this looks a little bit different. I'm doing this on my computer instead of on the school computer. So like I said, we're going to start off with just our basic edits here. So I've duplicated my original layer, going to use my hue saturation adjustments to make this man a little bit less red. And I'm just doing my good old-fashioned duplicated again, filter, noise, dust and scratches, making it blurry yet grainy, then going and putting in a layer mask, hiding the layer mask, and then painting in where I want to cover up this man's wrinkles. Now remember, the critical thing here is to not go too far with how much you're covering up. You just want it to be enough to make the wrinkles a little bit less noticeable. We'll get into what it looks like when you go too far with this in a second. Alright, anytime that you do changes like that, you want to do merge down afterwards to make it part of the same thing. Now I'm going to get into some more tasteless changes. So I started off by going to filter and liquefy, and what you're seeing me do here is using the forward warp tool to make his ears smaller. I moved his chin already. You're about to see him start moving his hair. But what's really important is to use small steps whenever you're using liquefy, alright? Try to push too much too quickly with liquefy, it's going to end up looking really fake. So if you want to do something with it, make sure you do it in small steps. Alright, so this now is going to be me more doing too much airbrushing. So this is, when somebody says that a photo looks too airbrushed, this is what they're talking about, where basically when I ran the dust and scratches filter, I just had that blur turned way too high. And it's now like I've gotten rid of this man's skin. He's going to look plastic. So this is what you want to avoid. I'm doing this on purpose so you guys can really see what that looks like. So here we have what he looked like originally. So there's the original image. There's a tasteful retouch that we've done there. And then, of course, on top of that, the less tasteful changes where I have used liquefy and really just done a lot to this guy. Alright, so we're going to next start getting into some even more extreme changes here. I want to make this man bald. So I have a picture of a bald man, and I'm literally just going to take my lasso tool and just select the top of this man's head. I'm also grabbing some of his ears because it should make it a little bit easier to put on this other guy's head. So I just layer mask that out, hit the little Japan flag at the bottom. To make it larger, I did Control T. Control T lets you do free transform to make something larger. I have this roughly the right size here at this point, but what you'll see me do here is I'm rotating it some, and also I'm going to edit transform warp, which lets me have a lot more control over how exactly that's getting bigger. So obviously, right now I need to kind of address the edge of this a little bit, but it's also not the right color. So I just went to Image Adjustments, Hue Saturation. I made sure that the picture was selected and not the layer mask. And now I can come in here and start to blend this head in here. So I'm just on that layer mask with a soft, somewhat transparent brush, and I'm just cleaning up these edges so I can get the heads to look like they've merged together. So again, this is just a matter of just finding a picture of a bald guy, using image adjustments, hue saturation, to get it to show up on here a little bit better, and get the color to match a little bit better. And now I'm going to make it a bit bigger. So I got rid of the background just using the magic wand tool, so I clicked where it was white, and I'm just plain erasing that out on the layer mask. Smoothed it out a little bit, and now I can come back in here and just clean it up a little bit with just my brush, because it just didn't do a very good job of getting rid of that background. It had kind of rough pixely edges. So obviously this man's head is just too big for this man's hair, so what I need to do is I need to make it bigger. So you saw me do a little bit of liquefy there, and now all I'm doing is using the clone stamp on that original background layer to get rid of that man's hair. Alright, so now he's got a bald cap. I'm coming in here and just kind of fixing little bits of his ears. It got sort of messed up for me having to put this whole thing together, and to the best of my ability trying to do this quickly. Alright, so this man is bald now. I want to make him have a giant head. I want him to have a very big swollen brain, because I'm going to make him look like Megamind. So, a big thing on making him look like Megamind was using my hue saturation adjustments panel over there on the right. And the nice thing about using the adjustments panel like I did on the right is you can now see that I have a layer mask which means I can come in here with a paintbrush and get rid of those changes in these places that it made blue that I don't want to be blue, like his eyes and his teeth. So let's find a place for him to go now that he looks a bit more like Megamind. This'll work. I'm just going to stick this picture here and probably realize very quickly it's not the right size. And instead I will move this guy to the picture instead of moving the picture to him. Alright, his color wasn't quite right, so I just went to Image Adjustments, Hue Saturation, fix that up a little bit, and there we go, clean him out again. And now let's take this, and I want just his head, I don't need his suit, and I did Control T, pre-transform, I can swoosh him around. There's other forms of transform that you just saw me using there, but I just wanted to edit transform, that was probably distort or perspective that I was using there. But basically there's a lot of different ways you could be doing that in there. And there we go, now we have a way more extreme edit. So let's once again look, here we have the original picture, minor retouches, major retouches, very major retouches. And that's it. Obviously you can go back through this video and slow it down if you need to. I did a lot of things very quickly. Just review what you need to know for what you want to do to your picture.